and welcome to another segment of Motivational Mondays with Donna. I pray that everyone is doing well, and if you're encountering any challenges, just remember to cast your care on God and to let go and let God. This week, I'd like to speak on the subject of fire means growth. What I mean is that we cannot always be baby Christians and baby believers. There has to come a time when we have to grow up, where we can no longer just be taking in milk. We have to take in solid foods. And God is going to be there with us through these times. And these times are when we're dealing with some really challenging, fiery trials that are happening in our life. And you need to realize that God is with you through every single one of them. Now, sometimes it may not feel like it. It feels like you're off alone and by yourself. However, God never leaves you alone. He's there with you through everything. And that's the way he was with the three Hebrew teenagers in the Bible, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He could have just turned around and just prevented them from having to deal with the trial, because the king of Babylon, he wanted everyone to bow down to him. He felt he was just all of that. And those prideful ways can get you in a lot of trouble. But these three teenagers refused to do that. They were all about God, and that was the only person that they were going to be honoring and the only person they were going to bow down to. And so the king was not pleased, and he had them tied up, their hands and their feet, and thrown into this fiery furnace, and made sure that he elevated the height of the fire, that it was so much stronger. And he was just so prepared to just be in his glory, watching them burn to death. However, but God was there in the fire with them. When the king looked, they were no longer bound and tied by their hands and their feet. They were running around loose, and he saw a fourth man in the fire with them. And that fourth man was God. So you don't need to be afraid of your fiery trials and challenges and situations and tribulations that come up, because God is right there with you through all of them. And like I said, fire means growth. Fire means promotion. Because once the king saw that there was a fourth man in there, and that the Hebrew teenagers were no longer tied up and bound, they were loose, he immediately told the guards, open up the doors and let them out. And when they came out, they didn't even smell like smoke. And there was not a hair on their body that was burned or singed. Then the king immediately had all of his guardsmen and everybody and had them thrown into the fire, and they burned to a crisp right there. After this, the king had the three Hebrew teenagers promoted and became high-ranking officials. So fire means promotion. Fire means growth. Don't run from it. God is right there with you in the fire. Now, we always end our segments on gratitude. And for those of you that are jazz aficionados, you know the name Lionel Hampton. Lionel Hampton was an American jazz, saxophonist, vibrationist, pianist, percussionist. He was a band leader. He did it all. And he played with some of the world's best people, Teddy Wilson, Benny Goodman, Buddy Rich, Charlie Parker, Charles Mangus, Quincy Jones. And he had this to say about gratitude. Gratitude is when memory is stored in the heart and not in the mind. And in the Bible, we see that that's spoken about. In the Bible, in the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 45, it actually says that a good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good, and an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart brings forth that which is evil. For of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh. So Lionel Hampton was right on point. You want to speak from your heart. You want to have that gratitude from your heart. And remember, gratitude is going to take you places you never thought you would ever be able to go. Gratitude is going to make your life soar. So this week, remember, don't be afraid of the fire. Fire means growth. And keep your gratitude and your thankfulness. It will do wonders for your life. Have a great week, guys. Talk to you next week.